Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Western North Carolina fishing report with Dale Collins at Tuckasegee Fly Shop. How you doing, Dale?
Doing great, Marvin. Had a great time today in eastern North Carolina, out on the beautiful waters of our coast, and enjoying a reprieve from change of scenery, if you will, from western North Carolina.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit more than a change of scenery. We were talking before we started recording, and those poor folks in western NC are getting a ton of rain.
Yeah, and it's actually coming at a good time. Typically, we've had 2 or 3 tropical systems come through by now, giving us big deluge of water all at once. And we were kind of joking with some folks this last week that pretty soon the fish were going to be having picked ticks off their back. So the rain is a welcome sight. So within reason, right? You don't want too much at once, but from most of the gauges I'm seeing west of Asheville, everybody's sitting in good shape right now.
Yeah, and it looks like, looking at your weather, you're kind of cooling off. So, we've been speculating for a while whether we'd seen the hottest weather of August. And I think we probably have now moving into September. But it looks like you got a
That's right.
Yeah, looks like you got a good chance of rain for the next 10 days or so.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be scattered and kind of depend on which side of the cove you're on. But it's still going to be there. It'll be around. Pay attention to the forecast, pay attention to your surroundings. But the temperature changes have been amazing. They are, it's allowing us to fish all day now in the creeks. So the Tuckasegee is still mainly a sporadic smallmouth game. But yeah, the temperatures are just perfect. It's nice to be in some cooler water. And, every now and then you kind of see an orange leaf float by in the water on these creeks, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, that's about to happen. So, fall is definitely on our front porch.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We've had leaves already start to turn here in Charlotte. So, obviously until we get a few hard frosts, the beetles and the ants, they're going to work great. What are you seeing? Yeah. What are you seeing from a hatch perspective? And what, if folks are nymphing, what do you think they should do?
So blueing olives are on the board again, especially in the mornings. Then you're going to see some caddis and mayflies, but specific flies that, we saw in about mid-August, orange come in, and everybody thinks October for orange, but it actually comes in a little sooner. And that lets us know things are heading towards fall pretty quick. So, orange stimulators are fantastic right now, still yellow. But certainly the Chernobyl game is still good. Nymph wise, fish that big stonefly, like a pass rubber legs or girdle bug, under a Chernobyl through some of these creeks. And it's interesting what happens. A lot of these fish see these big bugs suspended in the column and they break for them. So they're used to seeing them rolling over rocks, but if they see them in the turbulence mid-column in the pool, they tend to spring for them right now. And there's some really hungry brown trout that are getting ready to go through a special time. So that's going to help that game tremendously.
Yeah, there you go. And, we have a question from Daniel, and, I guess, gosh, it's been last year. There was a pretty horrific flood on the Pigeon. And he just wanted to know kind of how the fishery was bouncing back.
Sure. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's already been a year as of August 17th. Kind of a day that sticks out around the neighborhoods of Haywood County. But certainly a catastrophic flood event happened on the East Fork of the Pigeon River. And then certainly the West Fork had a lot of rain as well. West Fork wasn't nearly as hard hit as the East Fork was. 7 folks died, lots of property damage and things like that. Just such an awful thing. The fishery, the bug life, I would say, is probably a little better. So much of the sediment on the East and the West Fork has now been washed downstream. And according to NC Wildlife, that's only better for bugs. So we're seeing more bugs. That's good. The East Fork is still, it's kind of back to what it was pre-flood at this point with the long, hot summer. A lot of those fish that had gotten into there from some of the broken trout farms are now gone. So they've moved on to deeper, colder waters downstream. And so it's really just sporadic. I can't say anything real positive right now about the East Fork of the Pigeon in terms of fishing, other than it's got good bugs now. The West Fork's fishing outstanding. So still plenty of fish there to be had, even in the delayed harvest area, and certainly up above it are good too.
Well, there you go. Well, folks, we love questions on the Articulate Fly. You can email them to us. You can DM us on social media. You can even drop them in the comments to our social media feed. And if we use your question, I will send you some Articulate Fly swag, and we are in a drawing for something cool from the shop at the end of the season. And before I let you go cook your flounder tonight, Dale, you want to let us know, and and I know you're not in any of the shops, but I'm sure somebody is. All your locations, hours, and all that kind of good stuff.
Absolutely, we've got a great team lined up for the fall, so definitely make sure you stop in and see us. Downtown Waynesville at 110 Depot Street, downtown Silva at 530 West Main, and downtown Bryson City at 3 Depot Street with the big brown trout statue out front. Open. We're going to be 8 to 5 Monday through Saturday through the fall, and then head into our winter hours sometime in December. I'd love to help anyone out. Shoot us questions, email info@tuckflyshop. Check out our online store as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, DH is going to be around here before you know it, so you ought to stock up on all the little goodies like tippet and floating and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, and I got to say we are really well stocked on all that stuff right now. So boots, waders, leader, tippet, definitely reach out to us or check us out online.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, listen, folks, get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Dale.
You too, Marvin.